don't even like these Tim Hortons caps, by the way.
The cups?
I hate them.
What?
I hate that. You can't even drink. You gotta go like really look.
I don't have an issue with it.
It's a back thing. So, anyways.
Okay. Anyways, yeah. You wanna kick us off with this negative Nancy over here?
I'm not negative Nancy. Nah. You know, time is important. I do big things. Don't have time for
clearly your bench press isn't one of those big things. So.
Okay, there. One sip.
Oh, here we go again.
Look at this guy.
All right, let's break into the show. Cue intro. Yeah, we have a name.
Oh yeah, our name.
Yeah, you kick it off with the name.
Is that how we do it?
Break into the day. Yeah, dude, we've been writing the outline.
Welcome to our podcast. It's our first episode.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna call it Behind Inspiration. Behind the Inspiration.
So, yeah, that was what won a couple weeks ago. Mitch put a poll up, and that was the winner. So.
Well, it was a winner because most people were like messaging me, say, "Hey, why don't you use that one as well?"
Right.
A lot of people were saying they like that one more.
So the numbers added up.
Yeah, which one. I totally forgot to post about the winner, but anyways.
Yeah, that's okay.
It's not important. It's a freaking awesome podcast name.
Yeah, I like it. So, man, how's your day been? Raining, so you were off work, eh?
Well, we're off work because we're changing. We had to bring all the trailers at the new site, job site, plus working in the rain. You know, I'm a little princess, so.
This is true.
Yeah. Well, plus I've been working hard. Like
you've been working hard?
Well,
every single video I see.
Because I'm the one who makes sure that production level is high.
Oh.
If I'm not there talking to them and telling them how to do things, and you gotta understand, like, these are my, kind of like, you know, I gotta give them, you know.
You're their mentor.
Well, they need to grow. If I have to do everything.
Yeah, okay.
You know, so I just supervise. I make sure production level is high. Nobody's just standing there doing nothing. You know, that's why I'm there.
Right.
You know.
I understand. You crack the whip.
Yeah, I crack the whip.
Make sure the gentlemen are working hard.
Yeah. So anyways, that's why we're not working, because we're changing the job. We have like a huge logstone property we're going to start hitting on. So, yeah, it's pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah. You?
Man, day's been good though. I got up, started to work. At first was like, no, it's pouring rain, so we can't dig. And then they're like, hey, we need somebody to go in, make sure the buckets are running, like put you on the mini X and remove some of the dirt around one of these walls so that we can get at it with the bigger excavator. This way we're not knocking over any gas lines. You know, I can be a little bit more precise with my movements, which is super important when dealing with construction, especially gas. You can't really mess up a gas line, you know. If that thing blows, then gotta clear some city blocks.
Yeah. I don't think that's a thing anyways. Can that even happen? I never heard of an incident that a gas line ever exploded.
Ever?
Well, Google it. I bet you can't even find one.
You don't think so?
Not an explosion.
Buddy, I'm gonna find one down the road from your house.
Not an explosion. Not like a freaking destroyed a freaking block.
Gas line explosions. Oh, you did post it. Okay. Gas line explosions.
I did post it.
So no?
I did post it.
Oh yeah, of course you did.
Of course I did.
It's never above you. No. That's your trolling is on a different level. Now. Okay.
Did you find something?
Gas line explosion. Let's say Sudbury. Oh, here we go. My ability to spell Sudbury is subpar at best. So now. Oh. Destroys Guelph home this year.
Yeah, but what happened?
January 31st.
Somebody put a lighter to it?
No. Fucking need more details.
It was,
gas leak. Ah, no. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's what happens.
Yeah, no explosions.
So, Mitch, kind of tell us a bit about how we ended up here for the show. How we created the show kind of together.
I think when we were just talking and you were just connected, I think it was I started just shooting the shit, the preliminary, kind of thing. And for me, I always wanted to do podcasts. I really wanted somebody that was in it, like not just kind of like somebody I was serious about,
Mm-hmm.
and I never found that person, and I didn't want to do a solo podcast. It's not like my vision of like what
Right.
what I want for my podcast. You know what I mean? And then kind of linked up and started talking about it the last couple of months, and here we are.
Yeah, here we are. Oh, that's cool. And it's one of those things like I find with doing my own too, with like solo guest-driven shows or solo episodes or solo podcasts are very tough to get that energy flowing. And if you show up on one day and you don't feel it, well, chances are the next time it's going to be equally difficult or even worse of a challenge to do. So I think this dynamic and then throwing in guests, which we will down the line have guests here and there. I think after we come into fruition what the show can become and work that way. And I think once get a few episodes out and we'll try to do once a week.
Yeah.
That's the goal. We'll see.
Well, if he stops not bellying on me.
For anybody who knows Mitch, they'll understand why.
That's a bull.
This
That's
is
bullshit.
the most... What I'm saying? Bruh. Let's let everyone in on the secret here. Mitch is actually, because of my size being, more of than him, sorry.
What?
Mitch is actually sitting...
What?
He's actually sitting 10 feet closer to the camera than I am.
That doesn't make sense.
So we look proportional for post-production. No,
That
it's
doesn't
true. I
make
looked
sense.
in last video. I'll pull the video up.
You actually look like you have strings on your t-shirt. Okay?
Everybody has strings on their t-shirt, dude.
No, like literally, like your arms. I'm talking about.
What do you got against my arms?
It just looks like it's attached to your shirt, and it's a string.
So you're saying my arms look like one of those threads.
It's a thread. It's a thread. Okay?
Super rude, but I mean, that's fine. I get it. Who wears jean shorts anyway, dude?
These are badass.
Oh, your arms look...
These are badass, man. What are you talking about? Man?
You're like a John Cena bootleg. What's going on?
I think they're awesome, if they're comfortable, and you can work with them, and you can like do a lot of things with them.
You can work with them? They're not covering your knees, though. They have to cover your knees. In order to be on a job site? Yeah.
Not me.
Not you. Oh, I guess the Ministry of Labor doesn't quite...
Well, me and the guy.
I don't know.
So,
Yeah?
I have a special privilege.
Oh. You also not wear a hard hat.
Oh, I
on the
wear a
job
hard
site.
hat.
Yeah?
You have
Okay,
to
good.
wear a
Yeah,
hard
you
hat.
have to.
Yeah.
I once met this guy in South America. I was on this job site, and he had tank top, jean shorts, open-toed flip-flops with that little like thong piece in the middle,
Yeah.
hard hat, no gloves, nothing.
Yeah.
And I said, "Hey man, what's going on? Why are you? I noticed you're not equipped to be operating this jackhammer." You know what he said to me? He looks at me and he says, "Well, my thought is you have 10 toes, you only have one head." And they I guess had the choice to only pick one piece of safety wear to put on their head, or to put on in general, and the guy chose a helmet. You'll see people walking around with 2 gloves, no helmet. Those are the people who really like their hair. But I'm not gonna open up that can of worms
Well,
and talk about hair. Not on this episode. We'll
not
leave.
your hairline, anyway.
What do you mean, not my hairline? At least you can see mine. You okay? Give him a minute while he thinks of what to say next.
I got nothing. Just look.
What the? Dude, it's beautiful. Thank you.
For sure.
Mm.
For sure.
Now that we have that cleared up. So, Mitch, where did kind of your fitness... where did your fitness career kind of stem from?
My fitness career, well, I was always into the sports growing up, and I don't know, and then personal training wasn't really a thing when I was growing up, but it wasn't really that popular. And then, like in my late, not late, I guess, teens, but like, when I was 19, 20, kind of like, got back in, like, I stopped sports for a couple of years, because after high school, I kind of like, and then kind of like just went, pretty pretty much like a sedentary lifestyle,
Yeah.
you know, for a couple of years, and then, you know, I started gaining weight and all that stuff, and then, you know, just kind of clicked that out. I don't know, it was just kind of like, didn't like how I looked because I was, you know, getting bigger and bigger, and my diet was always shit growing up, but I was so in so many sports,
Didn't matter.
and I was a kid, didn't really matter.
Yeah,
but then
metabolism.
when kind of like after high school and stuff, and you know, get in the party scene, I got big real quick, and you know, I kind of like changed my lifestyle because of that. Like seeing myself like just go from, you know, 140 pounds to 190 pounds in within a year and a half, and just got serious into it. Started, you know, reading a lot in it, and then eventually I went to school, and then, you know, became a personal trainer, and you know, I've been in it for like 15 years now. So that's kind of like how it kind of materialized.
Nice.
But I've been, you know, my whole, like, how I train people now versus back then are way, like, two different things.
Right.
Because I used to just think that everybody wanted to be highest level of athlete, so I trained everybody like that, you know, because I was just so like tunnel vision, because I, you know, I had started back into martial arts and wrestling, jiu-jitsu, and I always thought that people wanted that type of training, you know, to the extreme. And I guess over time, you know, learning and reading more and educating myself more as well on how to properly develop programs for people, like kind of like it's night and day from, you know, today and 15 years ago, like how I would program for people. But yeah, that's kind of like how it went down.
Now, do you find that style back in the old days push people away, like potential clients away?
For sure, yeah, yeah. But back then, we didn't have the information that we have today either. Like it involved so much fitness, you know, strictly conditioning, I should say.
Yeah.
Because strictly conditioning and fitness are two different things. You know, anybody can just move their body and burn calories and you know, lose weight. But if you want, like, if you look at athletically and you want to get better as an athlete, you know, kind of like bigger, faster, stronger, and just be better at your sport, well, you kind of there's a method to do that, not just putting generic, you know, movements together and making over and over and repeat that. There's you know, different sport, different energy system, different, you know, some sports require a lot of strength and some sport don't, and so you have to really, you know, kind of like not, it shouldn't be just a generic kind of like, oh, today is squat day, tomorrow is bench day, you know, because that's fitness to me.
Okay.
Whereas, you know, kind of like strength and conditioning for purpose for sport, there's different protocols for different sports. Like you're not going to train a marathon runner, right? I'm going to the extreme here.
No, right.
But you're not going to train a marathon runner the same way you're going to train a 100-meter sprinter, right? They're just totally two different, you know, sports. They're both running sports, but they're totally different as far as like energy systems. So you have to take that information, and like I said, 15 years ago we didn't have that information as much as we do today, and it's how accessible that information is now. Like
it's pretty accessible
if you're a coach and you do not understand energy system, you know, like I think energy system is where it's at for strength and conditioning.
Nice. Like
that's where I think, you know, whether the sport is aerobic sport, anaerobic sport, you know, you always want to have like kind of like a baseline of strength, right? But developing the proper energy system for that sport, that's where it's at.
Okay.
And so then you take that information, you look at the sport, you know, like hockey versus, you know, like MMA. Well, they're totally two different sports, even energy system-wise.
True.
You know, one is a team sport, first of all, which you know, average kind of like cycle on the ice is like 45 seconds, right? So it's like a
quick burst.
Quick burst, and then you could go in and recover for, you know, 3-4 minutes or whatever, right, and go again. While MMA, it's like 5-minute rounds, 1-minute break, which is like totally the opposite.
Totally different energy system.
Totally different energy system. So to train two athletes the same in two different sports, you know, that's why I'm not a big fan of boot camps. I'm not a fan of like fitness group. That's not how, you know, that's why even like if you're not an athlete, right, take that equation out,
Right.
I think everybody should be trained individually in a way, like at a like certain level, because everybody are gonna, like, think about like a boot camp class or a fitness kind of class where the
Pretty
class
generic.
it's not just that it's generic, but like if you're brand new, you're brand new, and listen, there are clubs out there that have kind of like beginner, intermediate, and I think that's a progression of that's a step forward, but I still think that there's still a lot of holes in that.
Right.
But just like old school boot camps, right? A lot of people are still doing that. There's no beginner, intermediate, high level. You could be a beginner, like your work, your sedentary lifestyle, you're pretty much at a desk, and then you jump into this boot camp right away, and so boot camp is like, it's either perfect for you, too much, or not enough. The problem with perfect and not enough, you're not going to get hurt.
Right.
But the person that is not ready for that boot camp gets seriously injured, you know, and now they're on the shelf. Now they have to start paying therapy, chiro, and blah, blah, blah. So that's why I don't like particular like boot camps and fitness classes. And I'm not saying that there's not a way of doing it,
right?
Okay, but if you don't have that progression into anything, you're gonna hurt people. You're gonna hurt people. That's why we don't do that here. All our clients here have all their individual programs,
right?
You know, and you know this. You're,
yes, 100%.
You're a client here, and you know, there's obviously similarities to maybe you and your training partner.
Yeah.
You know, who's doing jiu-jitsu as well, and obviously we program for you into that sport a little bit, right? So if you know you and your partner have a similar program, it's because you know you fit those. You know, you're kind of like in the same, you know, growth, I guess.
Yeah.
Protocol of where you should be. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So.
Right.
Yeah. So that's kind of like, you know, how we do it.
Sweet.
Yeah. How about you?
Easy.
How'd you get into this?
So, the whole how this connection kind of took place. It was a battle where when I was a younger child, I grew up with brothers, so there's always competition, as you can probably relate. Having competition kind of sparked like, okay, I want to compete against other people, whether that be doing a lot of sports through basketball or swimming, and there's like cross-country running, track and field, volleyball, hockey as well, soccer, and these kind of doing all of them. Kind of, I found the older I got, the less many sports or the fewer sports I did. So it kind of went where it did soccer, basketball, swimming, and hockey in like each season. Okay, and then like maybe 4 months out of the year or 3 months out of the year, and did a cycle of that. And then as I kind of got towards high school, I focused more. I did basketball in grade 9 and said, okay, this isn't really for me. I don't really like that dynamic, but I like team sports, whatever. My strengths are like my running, like stamina with that and everything. Okay, how can I apply this and like athleticism that I have from all these other sports that have developed to team sport? Well, like I like the team environment, so let's try soccer. Okay, sweet. I was doing a lot of competitive swimming growing up, and that kind of attributed to why I was better than the average bear at whether it be running or soccer, or I was always a starter for the sports, well, for soccer specifically. So my almost cross-training, or I'd miss a soccer practice to go run, or I'd miss a track practice to get a game in. And so they'd always kind of supplement each other. And then once high school kind of tapered off, the school I went to in Ottawa, Algonquin College, they removed their running and their swimming team both the year that I was going. So I graduated in 2014, and I think in 2014 spring they got rid of it. So a couple months before I graduated high school. And so it's like, damn it, okay, well, whatever. So going over there, and I played a lot of indoor soccer and intramural soccer, as well as like did a lot of weightlifting. And as much as you could probably tell,
What?
yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Mitch can tell.
I could definitely tell.
Yeah,
that
and
we were doing CrossFit.
well,
I'm kidding.
anyways,
Actually, I enjoy
fast forward.
CrossFit.
Yeah, fast forward to that shambles. Tackle. So, yeah. Anyways, yeah, did weightlifting, and I have a couple of videos that I'll show Mitch after that are not good. You wouldn't like my technique. It was a lot of not hinged hips when doing deadlifts and stuff. And I had a friend who was really into bodybuilding, and he was a bigger guy, so it was kind of like, hey man, you can lift this if I can lift this. And again, the competitive nature sprung out of me and said, oh, I can lift this for sure. It's like, dude, I'm a $155 when wet with 3 towels on, and you're gonna tell me that I can deadlift 315? No not really much of a warm up. You know, maybe the bar, maybe 135, 225, and then jump to 315. No, like, and I'm stubborn, so I wouldn't wear. Well, I mean, I wouldn't wear a belt, and I'd chalk it up, so I still was like just go raw that way. He'd wear a belt, chalk. You know, he's got his lifting shoes and everything, so he looks the part. So I kind of follow after what he was doing because that was more his focus. And so I was like, okay, like this is cool, this is what I do, and I got more into that. And then I started working at a YMCA, and one of the guys I was working with, who had on my show, was actually like a movement and strength and conditioning trainer for like tactical squads in Ottawa, like whether it be tactical paramedics or firefighters and stuff. So he kind of runs that, and we were talking a lot about fitness, and he gave me program to do for strength, which was, like you said, like today's squat day, today's bench day, like today's deadlift day, overhead press day, right? Simple. So it took me through that, and I'm kind of understanding that I can do this, and like, okay, I'm putting on size, I'm putting on a bit of strength, and he's saying, okay, well, let me go do deadlifts with you. So I do a deadlift, and he's like, that doesn't look good. He's like, what do you mean? It looks good. Look how much weight I'm lifting. He's like, no, that's not, I don't care how much you're lifting if you're not doing it properly. And then that little piece of kind of advice sparked this, like, okay, just because I'm lifting a lot more doesn't mean I'm lifting it correctly. And that could actually do worse for you long term, right? As you know. And so, yeah, moving forward from that kind of advice kind of like sparked my brain into that shift of now trying to do it properly and not worrying so much about lifting for ego. Because that could be, I had a few friends who I was friends with at the time, and I still am now. Excuse me. They stopped working out once they got girlfriends. And I was like, man, why do you, like, they were like lifting all the time, like 5 days a week at like 5 a.m. and stuff, like gridiron. I was like, man, and then they get a girlfriend, and I'm like, man, why did you stop? It's like, well, I was doing it to get laid. And I'm like, oh. So now that you have a girlfriend and stuff, you're not working out anymore? No. He's like, no. I'm like, dude, it makes me want to work out more. Like, you gotta keep chasing it. So understanding that was tough. I didn't quite get what their thing was there, but fast forward, I'm in my last semester. My buddy messages me and he goes, hey man, let's work on our project for the South America trip. And I was like, okay, sounds good. And we start talking, and she's like, oh, I'm a big fan of UFC. Like, a lot of it's pretty cool, you know. And he was like, man, have you ever done jiu-jitsu? I was like, I've done jiu-jitsu. No, but I want to. Like, it looks cool. I've heard like only great things, right? And he's like, okay, well, if you want to start, like, I train down on Wellington. I was like, no way. He's like, yeah. So I'll send you the name of the jiu-jitsu professor, and you can get in touch with him. And yeah, so I sent the guy Pablo a message. I was like, hey man, I want to do jits. Buddies with Steph, and he's like, all right man, cool. See you Friday. And I was like, all right, let's go. So anyways, whatever, show up. Everything goes great. A lot of fun. I'm like, I can do this to other people now. This is wild. Like, I'm getting my ass kicked by like 125-pound women. Like, these dudes who are kind of like, they don't look too imposing, and then all of a sudden they're like on my back. I'm helpless. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? I didn't know this was a thing. I'm a pretty strong built guy at this point, right? I'm like, okay, like what the hell is going on?
Sure.
What the hell's going on? And so I was like, well, all right, let's try this. So then, fast forward, it's in October. I messaged the gym, like, yo, what's up? Want to train? And then I think Corey on the phone with me was like, yo, Nogi at 8. I was like, see you there. He didn't show up. But that's,
Corey didn't show up.
Yeah, no, Corey didn't show up.
Never shows up.
So it happens, man.
Yeah.
Just gotta chase it.
Chase it.
And yeah, and then I met you, and I was like, sweet.
And then
Cool.
life was history after that.
Yeah. And now we're here. Now
So your life is fulfilled now that you've met me.
I wouldn't say fulfilled.
Fulfilled.
I wouldn't say
Every
fulfilled.
time you see me, yeah, big smile on.
You have one too. You're like, hey, you
complete.
tried to hug me together.
Life is complete. No, I never. You can't hug me.
Never.
Like this is
Never.
6 feet apart.
There hasn't been one moment where you've been like, you know what? I want to embrace this man right here.
Yeah.
I've seen it so many times.
Yeah.
I walk in, I'm like, what's up, man? You're like, hey! And I'm like, whoa.
That's some bullshit.
For now, we'll stick with this.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, wow, one day. And I was like, well, one day.
Yeah.
So,
Anyways,
yeah. So,
that's kind of like your story.
that's the story. That's how we ended up here. And,
Boring ass story, eh?
oh, well, I'm sure we'll get more into it in the later episodes. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Many more to come every week. Cool topics we're gonna break down in the fitness.
Yeah, we're gonna go.
realm
We're gonna start.
things.
Yeah, we're gonna start like going the rabbit hole of different topics. Like we kind of like briefed today as on like energy systems and why it's important to develop that. Maybe next episode we'll go in that rabbit hole.
Next episode. So, awesome.
Yeah.
All right, man. That's it.